Hey folks, Jessica here. So Granblue just did their summer stream. This is a stream that happens like twice a year that lays out the roadmap for the next several months of development of Granblue. It's pretty comprehensive. Really nothing that isn't announced here comes out during the year, so it's a good thing to look at. They don't spoil characters that are coming out because they want those as surprises for when they release, but everything else they talk about. By the way, I'm on Granblue EN. It is a Twitter account that does translations of all of the Granblue news announcements. They're really good. They're a really good source of news, so definitely recommend them. They do a full translation of this, so check them out if you want to read through any of this yourself. But yes, you're probably wondering what you're looking at here. These are new skins that are coming for Jita and Gran. These are Belial themed skins, and I think they're amazing looking. They look really cool. I am into it. These come from the Granblue Fantasy Versus, the Season 2 character pack, I guess is what you would call it. Since Belial is coming as a playable character, not a big surprise there, as he was a main character in the story for that game. You guys know how I feel about Belial. I will say that a lot of people like Belial, okay? I fully admit that. I will say he's one of those characters that, is harmless as a cartoon character, but if he were a real person, he would be a complete creeper, and you would want a restraining order against him. And if you don't believe me, live your life a few years, meet some people, and you'll understand. Belial is not a person that any real person should aspire to be like, or you're going to jail. So yeah, that's Belial. He's coming. A more interesting point. Oh, I should also say they spoiled the end of the Belial trailer that Kag is coming. Kaguya, best girl, as a playable character. So I would expect a skin for Kag at some point too. And a point I want to broach here is Cygames has proven over the years to be a company that's really into cross promotion of its IPs. For example, there are characters and skins and items that you get exclusively through things like purchasing the Granblue Fantasy anime DVDs / Blu-rays, but it's not solely tied to Granblue properties. It's stuff like Rage of Bahamut has characters you can get. Uma Masame has unique rewards and items for Granblue. Princess Connect is going to have rewards for Granblue. Granblue Fantasy Versus has rewards for Granblue. There's the CDs, the music CDs. There's the books and the manga and all of this stuff. There's so much promo stuff for Granblue that's cross promotional. For me, I don't super mind because I tend to be into a lot of those cross-promotional things. I played Granblue Fantasy Versus. It's a good game. But if you think about it, Versus, this character pass is gonna... Yeah, character pass 2 is what they're calling it. It's gonna have 6 characters, so it probably means there's gonna be 6 skins. And if you've watched me use these skins in-game, these skins tend to be way more intricately animated than the base Granblue skins. They just have a lot more intricate animation, like idle, sway, and stuff like that, than the normal Granblue characters. And I'm curious if you're a person that doesn't really want to consume all this media outside of the game itself. Let's say it like it is. Doesn't want to pay money for all this stuff outside of the game. Doesn't bother you that there's so much stuff that you get from outside of the game. I'm genuinely curious because I could see a case for this because they're probably gonna do a Character Pass 3. I'd be surprised if they didn't. And there's 5 or 6 skins already from the first Character Pass for Granblue Fantasy Versus. Plus, you can get an Evilite or a Dama Bar or a Gold Bar or a Sunlight Stone from purchasing that game. Plus, you can get the Astral, a full Astral Weapon from the Character Pass, and if they do a third, there's 6 here, so that's another 6 skins, and if they do a third pass, it'll probably be another 6 skins or more bonus stuff. That's a lot of stuff that you can only get by spending money on something that's not linked directly to Granblue. like not in the Granblue game. So I'm curious how you feel about that. I could see it being off-putting, but yeah, let me know. Let me see. Back up real quick. By the way, I am reading most of this for the first time now, so yeah, this is going to be a bit of a long one, probably a little rambly, because you're going to get my thoughts as they come. Roadmap for future updates. This is Granblue Fantasy Versus stuff. I'm not going to cover it since I don't really cover that game. I will mention they're going to have Granblue Fantasy Relink news at Granblue Fest 2020. I'm curious whether or not Granblue Fest 2020 actually happens. Everyone, I mean, you probably, literally everyone knows that the world's in a weird state right now. So I'm curious if they actually end up holding this. I feel like it might be a little optimistic to actually say that you're going to have this, unless it's all digital or something. Anyways, Relink, if you're not familiar, is another side property of Granblue. This, I believe, is supposed to be like an action adventure RPG style game. They've released trailers for it in the past. They announced this years and years ago, so we'll see how it materializes. I do believe it will come out at some point. It's just I'm not holding my breath for when it will actually come out. And to the previous point, like 1000% guarantee you that this is going to have promotional stuff that you could only get for Granblue if you buy this game, and probably stuff for DLC as well. So that's, yeah, it's an interesting topic. So they're adding 2 new skins for the Arcarum evokers. I actually, let's look closer at this one. So I know I bag on boy characters a lot, but I really like this Alanon skin. Like, this is a really nice looking skin. Plus, like, the sun summon in like floating back here, this is a really beautiful skin. I like this a lot. And then Nier is also getting a skin, and her skin is gorgeous. Like, I really love this. And like, it's raining, which fits with her like kind of like themes of sadness and death, and she's a freaking death summon evoker, so obviously. But this is also a really pretty skin. What's funny to me is they're only doing these 2 evokers, and these are also the 2 evokers that most people would consider the most powerful evokers. Like, these are the 2 that get summoned, that get the most, like, more people have these 2 than any of the other evokers. And if you were to ask somebody who is pretty experienced with the game, these are the 2 that they would say you should make first. Like, I have an Alanon, I'm working my Nier. Probably have Nier soon, actually. I have like 75 passports to go through. It's so many, 75 Arcarum passports. But once I get through them, I'll have Nier. So, like, yeah, definitely follow that advice. And it feels like they're adding these 2 swimsuits for these characters, in acknowledgement of that fact. Like, this feels like an admission that like these 2 are way above the pack in popularity and power. So it's funny, because like it's funny that they would just full out admit that, but there you go. So yeah, I actually should do a video on Alanon. I've had him for a while. I used him in the last United fight, but I was kind of not doing videos at that time because I was kind of burnt out. So I'll probably do an Alanon video. I'll definitely do a Nier video soon. I want to do a video on Enmity in general. I've been kind of hemming and hawing about whether I should do a video before I have Nier or wait till I have Nier, but that video is coming at some point. And then a new, I almost said a new Lucio skin. When I first saw this skin, I'm like, oh, it's another skin for Lucio. I'm like, wait a second, is that Lucio? His hair is a little golden to be Lucio. And like, oh wait, no, that's Albert. Like, that's legitimately my reaction when I was scrolling through here. Which, you know, I'm not gonna bag on like their character designs, but I will say there are a lot of characters that look very much like Lucio. And that's like, I mean, obviously there's Lucilius and Lucifer and Lucio, but even Albert, like the only difference I feel like is his hair is slightly more yellow. It's slightly golden. It's like, you know, I guess they know what people like. Anyways. 5th star on cap for the mega summons, and this is gonna make me sound like, you know, 1% boomer or something, but like I forgot these didn't have a 5-star cap. So these are getting skill boost to 140 is going to be their uncapped. Their call effects are the whole call effects, who cares? the main thing is these will be skill boost, like Omega. These will be Magna boost to 140. So that's a pretty big thing for players that are still running Omega Drids. It's going to close the gap a little bit between Omega and Primal, since like the gap has grown pretty significantly between the two recently. So yeah, these are pretty exciting. No idea what they're going to take to uncap. They're probably going to be super annoying to uncap. No idea what that's going to take. Albert's side story is going live today. Interesting. That probably means it's live literally right now. Rise of the Beasts are changing. There's going to be new trade items, new weapons, new summons. No more gold nuggets. Apparently all you need is 422 to get everything, according to this. The new items will be used to trade for gold bricks. I'm curious why they're doing this, because honestly, like, why change it? Like, sure, they're gonna, like, there will be other stuff you can farm with gold bricks. Yeah, so if you have a giant stockpile of gold nuggets for some reason, like, you don't need to stockpile anymore because this is changing. Let's see. There'll be a new 4 beast raid. This looks like an amalgam almost of all of the Rise of the Beasts. Like that's Baihu, the tiger, and then this general form factor is like what is the red one? What the hell is the red one? The fire one, the bird. This part looks like that bird, and then there's like the tail from the one that has a tail. Jessica, you're an idiot. Jessica, you're so dumb. The one that has a tail, you know. Sorry, I'm an idiot, guys. I don't remember its name, but you know, it looks like all of them rammed together. Moving forward, yeah, this guy, Zukwe, Zook. That's the bird. Yes, the bird, the firebird. That's what that looked like. So these, I think these all have the same effects. Yeah. So I don't know what it says here because they didn't provide a translation. I don't read Japanese. But the call will be these are new summons that you can take the 4-star, and they will provide a on call, rarely provide an instant standby, so fully charge your charge bar and increase your charge attack damage. I gotta say, I fucking hate skills that are random. I think most players hate skills like this are random, but like I feel like these shouldn't exist because they're just not useful. Like, because like you can't rely on them, and like Granblue is a game all about repetition, and like if it's not reliable, you can't repeatedly rely on them. Then yeah. But I think these, I was reading elsewhere, these are geared towards newer players, so they might be useful for newer players. And I know, like, I'm curious also, are they doing these for light and dark? Or are these only for, doesn't say. I'm curious if these are only for the 4 non-light and dark elements, the 4, I almost said elemental elements, but you know what I mean. They're adding a new weapon. These are actually kind of like, if I don't play Omega anymore, but these are kind of exciting because they're Omega 2 Omega progression, and that's a pretty spicy combination of skills. Because let me bring up an example real quick. Like I said, this is going to be a little bit rambly. I believe Ray's harp, the Sanya harp, oh no, this is MG progression. But yeah, no, like attack boost plus progression is pretty spicy. Like that's pretty spicy. So like for Omega players, these will probably be pretty good. It depends on what the numbers will be, but yeah. Oh, I should mention while I'm here, if you haven't gone into your mailbox, there's a bunch of free stuff. This is stuff I got from today, but as with all these streams, they give away a ton of free stuff, and you should go collect your stuff. If you haven't logged on in a while, then at least log on, because they'll go to your permanent mailbox. So like, if you're watching this video, pause it, I'll forgive you, go open up Granblue, get your stuff. You got Sunlight Stone, 5 Diamond Crystals, 2 Silver Centrums, an Intricacy Ring, a SSR Proving Grounds ticket for July. Exciting. 5 Horns of Bahamut, 10 Champion Merits, 15 Blue Sky Crystals, a Dharma Ingot, 5 Gold Moons, 5 Gold Spellbooks, 300 Soul Berries, 100 Half Elixirs, 1,400 crystals. They've given away so many crystals recently. I think I actually have enough to spark now just off of crystals. Nice. 3,000 Arca Points. This one's weird, because 3,000 Arca Points is very little, actually. Like, very little. That's enough to get, like, 2 Astras. I almost wonder if, like, this was supposed to be 30,000 and someone just dropped a 0 by accident, and it's only 3,000. But yeah, no, that's unusually little compared to everything else. 20 full elixirs and 300,000 rupees. Nice. So yes, go get all of that stuff. Browser window back up. So yes, this is the new fire axe. This apparently is a water sword? Okay, sure, this is a sword. This is a sword. Alright. And then this is an Earth Dagger, which is also weird, because I guess all these will have Omega attack plus Omega progression, by the way. Because this looks like a wind weapon to me, because it's freaking green. It's entirely green, but apparently it's an Earth Dagger. Okay, here's the wind weapon, I guess. This is a wind gun. I guess crossbows are guns in Granblue. Technically speaking, that's not completely inaccurate. Crossbows, like the functional use of a crossbow, is a lot closer to a gun than it is to a bow. So, you know, that's fine. Wait, is there not a light and dark one? Oh, that's trouble if there's not a light and dark one. So, not saying there isn't, but based on these screenshots, it doesn't seem like there is a light or a dark one. So that's a little weird, but sure. Xeno Sagittarius is coming back with a 5-star uncap for the spear. Great, sure. Could be good. 5-star uncap for Soriz. 5-star. Sorry, Soriz SSR. Looking at the 5-star uncaps for SSRs lately that aren't limited pool, they've been okay for the most part. Like, they usually boost them up from a character that's really, really niche / not good to a character that's reasonably useful. So I would not expect anything different from Soriz. I will say, I hope they get rid of the thing where Soriz gets a bonus based on the number of female characters on the team. I mean, this isn't even like a drag on like Ketero or anything. It's just, I don't know, it feels super backwards to me that, because the thing is, Source's skill cares about your main character's gender. And that, like, I don't want to use the word problematic because I hate that word, but it seems very not 2020 to me to have the gender you set your character to have a gameplay effect. I in fact do know a person that uses Jita instead of Gran, which is the right choice anyways, but uses Jita instead of Gran because he uses Soriz. So yeah, no, neither here nor there, but like I hope I get rid of that shit. They're adding a 5-star uncap for Romeo. Great, sure. Same note, probably gonna be an alright character. If not mind-blowing. This one's interesting. So Sandovan Zeta and Oidis? The red-haired rocker dude. They're no longer... You're going to be able to trade for the treasure required to uncap them without being forced to do the event. So, you might remember that this started with, I think, Zeta. Well, I guess Sandovan technically, but Sandovan Zeta required you to have an item that you got from their event. So for a case of Zeta, there was an event when she got her 5-star uncap, and you had to do the event and get the treasure from it to uncap her, or you couldn't uncap her. Controversial decision. I will say a lot of games do that kind of shit. A lot of gacha games do that kind of shit. That's not... Like Puzzles and Dragons, have gems that you need to uncap certain character, like evolve certain characters, and they're only from certain events that you only are like you have to do when they're available. So it's not like that's a thing that other games do, and it's curious that Cygames decided to test this out, like to test this idea out, because it was really unpopular. Like you can imagine why. Like if for some reason you weren't playing, like if you love Zeta, if she's your favorite fucking character, and you know I love Zeta because I'm Zeta, but if she's your favorite character and you weren't playing during her event, you would never be able to uncap her to 5 stars. And like even more legitly, if you hadn't started playing the game yet and you started playing after that event and you got Zeta and you really loved her, you won't be able to uncap her 5 stars. And honestly, if you can't uncap a 4-star character 5 stars, they're effectively useless. Like, let's be real here. So that was a problem, and it was wildly unpopular, and this kind of shows it, because they're walking that back. So now you'll be able to trade for this stuff. I'm just curious why they decided to go down that road in the first place, because it's pretty obvious it would be unpopular. Losing my voice. So, the M3 raids, so like all these characters, Shiva, Metatron, Grimir, Avatar, Alexiel, Europa. These raids are getting a new weapon, new Regalia weapon. They're increasing drop rates on existing Regalia weapons in Anima, which is good, because like the Anima especially, you need so much of it to uncap stuff. And stuff outside of the Regalia weapons and Omega weapons even require it. That it was a real pain in the ass to get that stuff. So yeah, that's good. I don't think they didn't announce what the stats on these weapons would be, so we'll see if they're any good. Pretty high chance they're Omega weapons. They're pushing Omega really hard this year, which, like I said, there's a gap right now between Primal and Omega that's pretty big. I'm curious how far they push it, because a couple years ago, before they gave Primals like their like 140 uncap, they're like full uncap, like the distance between Omega and Primal was actually pretty close, to the point where Omega was better than Primal in a lot of cases, and that was a little awkward. Like this is a very delicate balance. Like I'm not going to undersell this here. You don't want Primal player, like you don't want whales and players who spend money on the game to be so far ahead of players who are free to play that the free to play players feel like they can't compete and just might as well not play, or just aren't really, like, just feel like downtrodden by it, because that's bad for your player retention. But you also don't want the distance between the quality of like Omega Grid and the quality of like a premium grid, a primal grid, to be so close, or even flip, especially flip where the Omega Grid's better, because then players, like, it's a disincentive. Like if you, like, players who spend a lot of resources in this game, or even free to play players that save up to spark and are just very end game, have a lot of like primal stuff because they've been playing so long. Like you don't want to make them feel like their work or resources aren't valued, or like waste, like spending money in this game's a waste, because that's also a surefire way to lose players and is a major feel bad. So that distance between the two fluctuates over time, and they have to be very careful of it. So I'm curious if they're, because like this feels like it could be pushing that gap closer again, but we'll see. They are adding hang on a second. They're adding raid updates on the 31st, but it says 14th here. I don't know if these dates are right. So flip chests are being adjusted. Okay, so if you're not familiar, you've probably seen this, but on a lot of raids, if you do enough damage, there's a threshold where you get a blue chest. And the blue chest will flip and it'll make a chiming noise. And it's kind of exciting. And for a lot of bosses, the blue chest has some of the best rewards in it. Stuff like Grand Order HL. Impossible Zoe, basically, and stuff like that. And Impossible, well, Akasha at all. The blue chest is pretty important to get, and it's hard to get. But for a lot of those bosses, Rose Queen's example, that chest can have stuff like rose crystals in it. And rose crystals, like, you farm hundreds of them on Rose Queen. They're her most common drop. Like, you're guaranteed to get them every time you kill her. So having the blue chest flip and be like, oh, exciting, and then, like, opening it, it's a fucking rose crystal. It's like, that's feels bad. So I guess they're pulling stuff like mouse fragments and rose crystals out of these things. So these things, when they drop, should be more exciting. Whether or not they are, who knows, but yes. Raid skip. Okay. So, they're adding the feature where, for hard mode bosses, and only hard mode bosses, you can spend 270 AP. I assume you're going to have to be able to beat a certain difficulty of hard mode boss first. You can skip all the hard mode bosses and get all your rewards at once. So it looks something like, oh my god, where did you put it, Twitter? Hang on a second. Here, it looks something like that. So an absolute boatload of rewards. As you might know, for hard mode, okay, in the olden days, there used to not be like a hard mode plus or an extreme plus where you could just do all 3 Tiamets in one fight. So the farming, like your farming cycle would be like, do Tiamat hard 3 times, and then do Yggdrasil hard 3 times, and do all the hards 3 times each, and then do all the megas 3 times each. And like, it was pain in the ass. Everyone hated it. It took forever, and it was just like meaningless because it's not like the content was hard. It's just really annoying, like chore you have to do every day, and that's not really the feel you want from a game. Looking at you, Arkarum. More on that later. So they're adding this, which lets you it's like an even more extreme version that just lets you skip all of them at once. A little annoying that they're not doing it for Omega. It was understandable that they phased this in over time because the hard mode plus came and then Omega came later, and Omega plus came later, and it makes sense because, like, you know, as people get stronger, and they do year by year, like old content gets more trivial, so they phase this stuff in. I feel like though recently players have gotten stronger at such a fast rate that it would have been totally legitimate to add like an Omega, like a raid skip for Omega. I pretty much, I guarantee you, next year they're going to add a raid skip for Omega too. What else is there? They're adding a new class, Robin Hood. This KMR tweet. It's a class, but it's also a person's name. That's deep, bro. What? Yes, it is a person's name. I don't want to bag on KMR too much because this might just be a bad translation. It's like, okay, yeah, it's a person's name. What's your point? So this Robin Hood, I like it. It's bow. It's obviously a bow-based class. It is exclusively a bow-based class. So it's like Soldier, which is gun, especially. It's probably bow, especially. Requires you get Chaos Ruler 20, Nighthound 20, a special quest. Required distinctions, probably unique to this, and then 4,000 class points. Yeah, that's pretty standard. The dogs, the Doge, so cute. Does that Doge have lit dynamite? That's unsafe. That's unsafe. That Doge should not have lit dynamite. Gran, you're terrible. Like, that is unsafe. Take care of your Doge. But yes, this is super cute. Yeah, both the Grand Gita skins, both super cute. We'll see how good the class is. Classes lately, I mean, classes are always kind of hit or miss. I feel like Monk is kind of a little bit of a miss right now in a lot of cases. I don't know. I'm not super into Monk, but we'll see. It's based on Nighthound and Chaos Ruler, so I expect it to be like debuff and evasion based, but who knows? We'll see. It would be good to have a good bow class though, because I feel like bows are a little underrepresented. I guess you can use bows on Kengo, but like, yeah, I would not mind a good bow class. Let's see what else there is. V2 system changes for V2 battles. Chain burst is changing a fatal chain. Basically, when you fill it, you can choose when to release it. Okay, sure. I mean, all right, sure. We'll see how it plays, I guess. Adding guard all button, that's a nice quality of life thing, because if you've done V2 battles, you know that like sometimes there are turns where you guard on everybody, and being able to do that one button press, yeah, a little bit nicer. You know, good quality of life changes. Omens are now activating at end of turn, so checking beginning of turn. I don't think I've had this happen, but apparently this addresses an issue where you have multiple omens activated in one turn, which I assume is bad news. Probably fucking blows your face off. Tower of Babel. This is from PrinCon, so I'm going to assume actually it's similar in how it functions. But you make 3 parties of 4 characters to take on fights. You fight your way through, first time clear bonus, mission bonuses, complete victory awards, blah, 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 conditions. Scheduled to go in September. Considered difficult. Well, I'll be the judge of that, Granblue. Gonna regret saying that. No, I won't. Don't regret saying anything. Yes, so Tower of Babel's coming. That was a joke, by the way. The way it works in PrinCon is you build a team, you build teams, and then like you fight your way to the top. What else to tell you? I expect it to work very similar to PrinCon. Like there's gonna be there's a floor that has a set battle. You do the battle, you advance to the next floor. I think PrinCon's something like 300 friggin' floors, and like in PrinCon, your teams, Princess Connect, your teams don't recover in between floors. So like you start getting worn down as you fight through the floors, and then like once a day they'll recover, and then you continue climbing again. So like that's how it plays in PrinCon. We'll see how it plays here. All of this really hinges on whether or not the rewards are any good. Let's be honest here. Oh yeah, this one's interesting. The Valor badge event. Dread Barrage. So last time they announced they wanted another avenue of getting Valor badges, which are typically the badges you get from United Fight. They wanted an avenue to get them besides United Fight. I'll talk about United Fight in a sec. So this is going to be it. It says here you work with your crew to beat a series of monsters, increasing in strength and earning honors and victory bonuses as you go. This is essentially a boss rush. Princess Connect also has a similar feature, and I would actually I would expect that this is going to be just like the Princess Connect one, which is like there's a stage, there's like 5 bosses, you go in alone, and you do as much damage to the boss as you can before you die or run out of time, and the damage stays on the boss. And then like everyone in your clan in Princess Connect could go in and hit the thing a certain number of times a day, and your damage cumulatively chips down the boss until you kill it, and then you move on to the next one. And you're helping each other out in that way, but you're not directly in the same raid with each other. You're just all contributing damage. And it was kind of fun because you could kind of flex if you're like super strong in your clan, etc., etc. I expect it to work like that, since I mean Princess Connect is a Side Games property, so why wouldn't it be something similar to that? Because it's a similar concept. So we'll see. So on United Fight, this is an interesting point that they're adding Valor badges outside United Fight. I wonder. Okay, there's 2 things in this game that I think are desperately in need of an overhaul, and I don't even think this is that controversial. I feel like these are 2 obvious things, and that's Arcarum and freaking United Fight. United Fight is not a fun event. I don't know, like even people who do well in it, I don't think would say it's a fun event. It is a horrible, boring, repetitive grind that honestly people do entirely because either like they need the rewards, or their crew will kick them if they don't perform in it, or like they are actually trying to compete in it and will probably get smashed by some turbo JP team anyway. It's just the truth. That's just the truth of United Fight. United Fight like isn't like, it's just a horrible grind where you smash your face against like the same boss for 5 days. And in cases of really like strong crews, you smash it for almost 5 days nonstop. Like to like the really high scoring crews, that's what they do, because that's what you have to do to score high in United Fight. And that's not good for the morale of your player base, or retention, retention of your player base or anything like that, because like it's not a fun thing. And it's not even like, oh, a hard thing that's not fun that you have to do every once in a while. No, it's 5 freaking days, and it's like every month and a half you have to do it again. And if you're a player that's been playing for a long time, you also don't really need stuff from it that much anymore. So like, yeah, it's just not a it's not a good like event, and I think they need to revisit it, and I think they know. And here's like a big problem with it: it really hasn't substantively changed much in 4 or 5 years. They've added slightly harder bosses. They've added a little bit more rewards, but essentially it is the same thing it's been for the whole lifespan of the game. You passively smash your face into bosses against a crew that's also passively smashing your faces against bosses until one of you decides to give up. Real excited. United Fight's awful. And it's also the gatekeeper for really important, frankly, upgrades like getting Eternals and like your access to Sunstones and Gold Bars and Evolite and stuff like that. So like, it needs a revisit. So I'm curious if this is the first step down that path. I imagine this won't have any interaction with the Revenant weapons / the Eternals though, but hopefully this will be another way to get stuff like Sunstones, Gold Bars, Evolite, that kind of thing. So that'll be a start. Replicard. Okay, here's the other one I was just talking about. Replicard Sandbox. This is related to Arcarum. This will take place over multiple game areas, whatever that means, and you can start wherever you want. There will be books that you can use to gain buffs in Replicard Sandbox, and will not consume Arcarum passports. Thank God for that. Thank God for that. So here's the thing. Let's talk about the first part first. I'm not sure if this is going to take a thing that's going to take place in our Arcarum style map. It says it will take place over multiple game areas, so I don't know what that means. It might or might not take place in our Arcarum style map. But the big problem with Arcarum, several big problems with Arcarum, but one of them is passports. So Arcarum, you get like a passport a day, or during events you get like 2. Like right now, I think you're getting 2, which is a very, very slow trickle. And there's a few issues with that. Let's look at the big picture a second. Arcarum Evokers are the strongest characters that are free in the game. A few of them are meta defining for their element. Like, you're going to be in an awkward... If you were doing the Fire Unite fight last time and you didn't have Alanon, it feels bad, because Alanon was really strong there. And we just said Alanon and Nier are like the 2 strongest Arcarum characters, and massively powerful characters. But all of the Arcarum characters are very strong. So, like, you need to be working on these guys. Now, the issue here is Arcarum, like United Fight, is a really freaking boring event. Like, this is no secret. Like, if you ever done Arcarum, you know. And, like, most people would agree, Arcarum is just obnoxiously boring and time-consuming. It takes, like, if you're fast, you can probably clear an Arcarum, like, the whole Arcarum ticket in, like, 10-15 minutes or so, if you're fast. And you have to do it every fucking day. And, like, the thing you routinely see happen is, like, people will start falling behind in the Arcarum, their tickets will start piling up, and it's just a real feels bad. It's a chore you have to do every day. And you have to do it. And they added a skip functionality. They added Fast Expedition a while back, and Fast Expedition lets you basically skip the Arcarum floor and get your rewards. However, you get them at a much lower rate than if you do them manually, because you can't do random you don't get random encounters. You can't really get the Astras or like the Saphira Stones really, or the fragments, or any of the random rewards. You also you don't even get as many Arca points, or you don't get Idians either. Like you don't get the random Idian drops either, for the most part. So you have to do them manually, and they added the skip functionality because they understood players hated doing Arcarum, but then they made it worse to do skip. So like it's like they didn't really solve anything there. Yeah, awkward. But the other issue with it, beyond being boring as hell and needing to do it, is it requires passports. And here's the thing. if you ever max out on passports, which a lot of people do, because like, again, boring event you have to do every day. When you're maxed on passports, every passport that you would get just poof goes away because like obviously it's a cap. And if you let that happen or you use skip, you're setting yourself permanently behind everybody else because it's a daily allocation you get. You know, 1 a day, maybe 2 a day sometimes. That means if you do that, you let that happen, you'll never catch up with a person that's been doing it consistently. And that kind of like time gating feels bad. It's not effort gating. It's not like how hard you're willing to try to work to get it. It's just based on whether or not you kept up with it. Or even more pertinent, if you started recently, you're missing out on a shit ton of passports and you'll never catch up with somebody. So the fact that this, long rant, the fact that this doesn't require passport is a start. Now let's hope it's not boring as hell to do. But yeah, Arcarum, really awkward, really awkward piece of content that needs to be reworked, like United Fight, because like United Fight, you can't not do it if you're interested in becoming like stronger at a reasonable rate and getting those really strong characters and items. So with Replicard Sandbox, you're getting 10 new weapons. They're releasing in November. KMR apologizes for delay, I guess. They did announce these a while back. They don't say what the stats are, so who knows? They might be good. I would expect them to be very strong, but again, we have no stats, so it's hard to say. And I will also say, a few years ago, if I saw this, I'd be like, oh yeah, they're probably going to be like grid staples. They'll be fucking amazing. But they haven't really released things that are grid staples that are just flat out in every grid or super amazing lately. Dark Opus weapon in every grid, pretty much. Those things were freaking amazing, still are. Give you cap up, give you like attack plus stamina or attack plus MD, like any of the cap ups. They're just intensely powerful weapons gated behind a really very hard, very coordination intensive fight that is satisfying to do, like a really well designed fight. There hasn't been anything like that in a long time. Like I think Dark Opus is like almost 2 years old now, I want to say. The Beelzebub raid for the Astral Weapons. Astral Weapons are not universally adopted like the Dark Opus weapons are. Some grids have them, some grids don't. Sometimes, like some elements are good, some elements are not. And like that raid was supposed to be the same power level as like difficulty as Dark Opus, essentially, just less coordination intensive. And you know, it's not. So with that in mind, these could be amazing or they could be super niche. And without any stats, I have no idea which way they're going to go. But they are new stuff, and I am excited about new stuff. Drop up campaign. Okay, so this one's interesting. Certain raids will drop double for the host, and there will be extra drops in a purple chest. But what if it's purple? I don't know if this is just a translation or if there's like something in the phrasing here I'm not understanding, but what the fuck does the sentence mean? But there will be extra drops in a purple chest, but what if it's purple? What the fuck does that mean? This is like Robin Hood is the name of the class, but it's also a person's name. It's like, what? Okay, sure. But this is the thing I was thinking of. They're adding a rotating drop bonus. So like, for example, the example is September 2nd to 8th, Fire Raids will have a bonus, so Kolo, Twin Element Shiva will have a bonus to the drop rate. September 8th, latter half probably, to September 15th, Water Raids will have a bonus, so Levy, Makula, Europa will have a bonus to their drop rate. So like if you do Makula Marius, she might have like, I don't know, call it double, I don't know what the numbers are, a drop rate to like an Oberon or something. That's interesting. I'm gonna bring up another example though. I don't like rotating events like this, because they used to do stuff like this, where if you look at these trials, so stuff like where the fuck is it? Elemental Treasure Quest, Deluge Trial, Aurora Trial. These used to be like weekly. They would rotate through, or the showdowns would be weekly. So 1 week would be like Vohu Mana, next week would be Sagi, Next week would be Koro. Next week would be Diablo, and they would rotate through. Next week would be Ifrit. Next week would be Coictus. And they would rotate through, and people hated that because if you needed Sagi anima and it was Koro week, you would have to wait like a month for it to come back to Sagi, which is super obnoxious, especially if you're trying to make a class champion weapon, which is the exact case actually, because you're trying to unlock a new class, so you'd have to wait a long ass time. So that's why they got away from this model by making these available anytime. Even more extreme example is like Angel Hill used to be like hourly, like it was gated on, it would be available for an hour, like 3 times a day. So like, yeah, they've gotten away from that kind of thing. And this isn't exactly the same thing, but it kind of is. So I'm not sure how I feel about this. Though bonus drop rate in general is a bonus, so that's nice, I guess. Okay, I saw something about this, and this is interesting. They're adding a new gacha to the game, a skin gacha. So you can get these things. These are like palette swapped versions of existing class skins, so not that exciting. But there's like they're adding Mirage skins, Mirage style skins, sorry, that let the MC dress up as a character. That's interesting, but these are coming in a special skin gacha. The plan is to make them cost 200 MOBA coins or 200 crystals, 2,000 of either for a 10 roll, and then you can spark if you spend 200 rolls to pick a skin, which is like a normal spark, except for 200 instead of 300. They'll also have character skins, so like Zeta, for example, Gwen, Siegfried, Charlotta, Jeanne d'Arc. So on the one hand, I will probably roll on this and get some skins because skins are cool. I mean, the palette swaps I don't give any levels of fucks about the palette swaps, but these new skins are kind of cool, so like I'm into it. However, does the game really need another gacha entirely? Like, there's already so many things to spend your crystals or your freaking money on that does the game really need another gacha like thing to spend things on? To be fair, a lot of gacha games already do this. If you play a game like Girls Frontline is the example that comes to mind. I'm trying to think of like Azraline does this. Girls Frontline definitely does this though. Where getting the characters, is one thing. It takes a good amount of resources, but it's not nearly as hard as getting the characters' skins. Like the high money chase items for some players, because a lot of players don't give a shit about the skins. But for some players, the high money chase item is getting the skins, which come out of a gacha, which I'm sure is profitable for them. But like again, I don't know, like gotta squeeze all the blood, in this case money, out of this rock, which is in case us, in this case us. So I'm not sure how I feel about this. Yeah, these are cosmetic, so it's not like I'm not too bothered by it because these are cosmetic for the most part. But I will say, like, this is definitely something that does divert resources from the development of other core features in the game. Like, one of the things that that takes time, like takes a lot of time in a game like this, is the development of the art resources. So having like time spent just to make skins like this instead of new characters, it's like I don't know how I feel about that. But yeah, we'll see. Preview of 6-star Siete. They announced the 6-star Eternal Uncaps last stream, like months ago. This preview of Sietes, I will say, kind of expected to be more over the top, because like this is a 6 stars. Characters don't, like, no other character is 6-star uncap. I can't expect this to be completely batshit insane. But again, this is in progress, so like maybe it'll be more flashy in the final version. It's not bad. It's just it's a charge hack. Like there's no like yeah, I don't know. I feel like charge attacks have come a long way, so the bar's pretty freaking high. But yeah, as for how I feel about, oh, I should also say, they are planning on. I read elsewhere they're planning on releasing all of the Eternals apparently by the end of the year. So I would expect like November, December. It's interesting because like during the last stream, a lot of people thought, myself included, that they would just release them one at a time. So it's interesting they're doing them all at once. Again, I mentioned it last time how I felt about this. I'm gonna say it again briefly. Not excited. For a few reasons. I think a lot of people are a little bit when it was first announced, a lot of people groaned about it, which I think was a surprise to Side Games because Side Games expected people to be like, "Oh my god, more 5-6-star turtles, yeah!" But it ended up being a lot of people being like, "Holy shit, what's the fucking farm for this gonna be like? Oh no, I just finished 5-starring all my Eternals, now I gotta do it again." Like, it was a lot of apprehension because, frankly, the nickname for this game in a lot of cases is Granblue Fantasy because you're always on that grind in this game, and undoubtedly the grind to get these 6-star Eternals is gonna be bad. It's gonna be really bad. It's gonna be fucking awful. Like it's gonna be awful. There's no way it's not gonna be. So it's gonna take forever. And you look at our Karam characters if you want like any like examples of how bad it could be, because our Karam evokers are really annoying to really annoying. Like almost makes you want to step away from the game level of annoying to get all our Karam characters. So we'll see how it goes. The other thing, again, I mentioned last time, I'm worried that's going to make the meta really stagnant, because these guys I think are gonna, I want to say that these guys, they said, once they go 6-star, you can level them to level 150, which is a huge ass jump. Like, I imagine it's not going to be a linear stat increase, but it's still a huge ass jump. And my fear is that these characters become all meta to the point where there's very little variation in the ideal frontline. So you would end up on certain teams with having a frontline that's like MC, 2 Eternals, and then 1 random character, probably limited. So that's bad for the game, because, and I say this because that was how the game was like something like 3 years ago. Like when there've been periods where the ideal lineup is like 2 Eternals, and it's just bad for the game because it makes the meta super stagnant. So especially if these are the only 6 stars, that's also a concern. So that's how I generally feel about it. I've already talked about it at length back in the other video, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. I know a lot of people like the Eternals. I like the Eternals too. It's just, we'll see how it goes. This one's an interesting one. They're changing seasonal lines. If you didn't know, most of the characters, I think all the characters, I believe it's all the characters in the game, have seasonal lines. So like every year for the last 5 years, for 5 years including this one, if you talk to someone like Charlotta on Christmas, she'll have unique Christmas lines for you that update every year, and there's new lines, which is kind of nice. I know this is one of those features where the people who like it really, really, really like it, and the people who aren't really as much into the characters probably didn't even know that it happened or care that it does happen. But yeah, so like for me, I'm kind of in the middle. I talk to like characters I really like every year, but like it's like maybe like 5 characters out of the entire roster of hundreds of characters that I actually check on. But yeah, they're gonna stop doing that this year. This will be the last year, and then from next year on, Lyria and Vryn will get new lines, but no one else. And this, like, as someone who works in games, this makes a lot of sense to me, especially this year with the way the world is right now and how hard it is to get people to meet and things like that. The amount of voice work this is astronomical. I know it's just a line for like a line or 2 for each character, but like that's every single voice actor that you have having to do lines every year for this. That's a lot of effort. and it's a lot of money, I'm sure, and probably a lot of resources can be put elsewhere. So I'm not surprised they're doing this. It sucks for people who are really into this, but ultimately this is an understandable decision. Love Live School Idol project is going to side stories. So we are finally getting the uncap for Nozomi, Ellie, and Nico. Nozo Ellie, best ship. Nice. This is good art. I will say the other art I do like because it looks like they're all about to have a threesome. Like, no joke. That's what the Nozo Ellie art looks like right now. But yes, this one's nice art. Shadowverse anime collab. Here's some skins. You know, it's interesting because I play Shadowverse from time to time. I have no idea who these characters are. I guess they went like the Yu-Gi-Oh route for the anime, where it's like a card battling thing. I would have thought a Shadowverse anime would be literally like in the, like fantasy battles and like a high fantasy anime with warring kingdoms and elves and dragons and shit. But no, apparently it's a card battler, which is all right, sure. Doesn't seem like the best use of like a pretty developed property and like, you know, world and lore and stuff, but you know, it's all right, sure. Card battler. Anyway, another collab coming in December. Details come later. Okay, that is like could be anything. We'll see. Muscles and Delusion skin for Dran and Vegeta. The D is silent. It's not Vegeta, it's Vegeta. Will come in Volume 7 of the Granblue Fantasy anime. So bringing it all the way back to my original like topic. This is another promotion, cross promotion that you have to buy the anime DVD/Blu-ray to get. It's interesting that these are completely different skins, which they usually don't do. It usually would be both of these characters, like Gran and Vegeta in wrestler skins or Gran and Vegeta in school skins. Also interesting because these two topics have already been covered. There already are the Luchador skins for Dran and Vegeta, which is this basically is, and there already are school skins for Dran and Vegeta, which these are basically. So I'm not sure what's going on here, but like, new skin, sure, cool. Interestingly, Vegeta kind of looks like almost like Vera in Vera's Albion Academy. Yeah, like Vera's Albion Academy skin here. I guess she's eating toast because she's late for class or something. How anime. What else is there? Oh, speaking of anime, Granblue's trailer. Anime will start in October. This one looks like it's covering my favorite lesbian, Silva, and then her sister Kukuru, and oh god, what is her last? I'm sorry, I don't remember your name because you don't have an SSR. Camu. The third sister. This is featuring Silva. I wonder if it's gonna include Toyen, her girlfriend, for like Ultimate Yuri ships. But yeah, no, this could be cool. I do quite like Silva as a character, and this looks like it'll be like way more like comedy based and exciting. Well, not necessarily exciting, but more comedy based. Oh, I should mention, scrolling back down because I think I scrolled past them. Where is it? Beyond the swimsuit characters, where the F is it? Yes. Beyond the swimsuit character, the swimsuits for Alan on Nier, they're adding new swimsuit characters. They're adding a Summer Kaguya, which is a summon. Yeah, summon. It'd be interesting to see if she interacts with like drop rate and XP and stuff like the current Kaguya does, or if she do something completely different. I'm gonna guess that she'll do something completely different, but we'll see. It's nice skin. Summer Mimlamel, which is honestly a character I forgot existed. Swimsuit Silva, this is what brought me back. Super excited. Love Silva. Hopefully Toyen shows up for some like, you know, beach fun and whatnot. Like, #1 lesbian. Love Silva. I'm actually surprised they haven't done a swimsuit Silva skin yet, because she's actually one of the more popular characters. And she's also like that archetype of character that tends to always be popular in anime, like silver hair gunner girl with giant ass gun. Like, yeah, but yeah, now she's finally getting a summer skin, so that's what that is. Fairy is getting sorry, I should say not a summer skin, a summer character. These are summer characters. These two are like Nier and Alanon Nier are summer skins. Kaguya is a summer summon. Mimlamel, Silva, Fairy, and I think Albert are summer characters, brand new summer characters. So they could actually be powerful. Keep an eye out. Fairy, this is such a cute. This is so cute. Her little spirit pet's holding her stuff. Oh, it's so cute. One of these is named Beppo. I know that from playing Granblue Fantasy Versus. It's really cute, adorable. And then Albert. Again, Albert, not Lucio. So those are summer characters. We're wrapping up here. If you haven't spent your free 10 roll for today, save it until this evening, because the banner rolls over, and some of those characters will probably be on the banner. So you'll want a 10 roll on that, not on the current light rate up banner. I think it's light rate up banner right now. Was there anything else? Also I should say, the Granblue anime probably gonna have, you guessed it, promotional codes that you can cash in to get stuff in Granblue. I'd be shocked if it didn't. Oh yeah, and if you didn't know, the Princess Connect Blu-rays come with not one Sunlight Stone, 2 Sunlight Stones. I think it's volume 1 and 4 come with Sunlight Stone. So yeah, again, still interested in hearing everyone's thoughts on that topic. I think that's about it. Yeah, that's all the major stuff. Oh yeah, should mention this. The rollover is at 7 p.m. tonight, JST. So if you're watching this, 7 p.m. tonight is when you should check back to see which of these characters appear and spend your roll. Don't forget. Also, Vikala's summer skin is going away. I think today is the last day you have to get it. So if you want it, get it. But yeah. Also, don't forget to get your subtext if you're waiting on that. Anyway, hang on, I need a drink. Completely losing my voice. Closing thoughts on the stream. I don't know. I mean, there's a few things here that I think will be exciting to players who aren't me. Like the Omega changes are a big deal. That'll definitely be a huge power level increase for players. There's a lot of quality of life things here. The Omega weapons seem like they'll be super strong. So I think newer players are going to have a lot of tools. Newer players / players that are still playing Omega / just don't play Primal for whatever reason. They don't play Primal. If it's just they're just not interested in building a Primal grid, that's fine. These things are going to be a big deal. So but that's not me. So that's not terribly exciting to me. Quality of life stuff is great. These Regalia weapons are probably going to be Omega, so whatever. They also didn't announce what their stats are, so raid skip's kind of interesting. New class sure is interesting. They didn't announce rewards for a lot of this stuff, like Tower of Babel or this Valor badge thing, Red Barrage. Yeah, Tower of Babel and Red Barrage. I think the only thing that really I'm okay, I really want to see what this ends up being is these Arcarum weapons for me, and whatever Replicard Sandbox ends up being. But yeah, no, I was talking to a friend about this the other day about the PlayStation 5, and I was saying I don't know, I'm gonna really look into if I'm gonna watch any of the announcement stuff for it, because I don't know, I feel like when PlayStation 3 came out, I was like, holy shit, the graphics are amazing. Oh my god, mind blown. And then PlayStation 4 came out, and I was kind of it's got better hardware than PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 3, and there's some new games, I guess. But and I'm and I was just talking about how I feel like I'm so hard. I just feel like the same thing would happen when I looked into PlayStation 5, and he was like, well, it's because you're getting old, and we're both getting old, and we're harder to impress now. And I feel like that's how I am with Granblue and a lot of gacha games these days. I'm getting old. I play this game a long time. It takes a lot more to impress me, to be exciting. I think when Dark Opus Weapons came out, that was exciting. But now, anything short of that is not particularly exciting for me. So we'll see how these Arcarum weapons go. I think for a lot of people, there's going to be a lot of things here that are exciting. I think for players that are very, very, very endgame, it's not a ton of stuff, honestly. But that's not to say that I don't think there's cool stuff coming out. There is. So look forward to that stuff. Anyways, that's it for now. Sorry, there's been a rambling video. I said it would be. But yeah, those are my thoughts on all of the announcements. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.